Hi and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Today we are making an 1840s/60s corset. And I'm going to be using the busk and the boning from my Edwardian corset because I made my Edwardian corset way too long. It's not as comfortable as it could be. So I'm just going to take all the stuff out and use it for something else. So I'm going to use some of the boning and the busk. And these are the pieces for the corset that I'm making. I'm starting off with making a mock-up. These are the pieces. And I have marked off the waistline and where the gauze are going to go, or the gussets are going to go in. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Sewing all the pieces together one by one. Taking a little more care around where the gussets are going to go in. Making a little stitch on each side of the line that I made. Now I'm going to cut in between those stitches or those stitch lines. And I'm going to be using the stitch lines as a guide for when I put in the gusset. Where I fold in the stitch line that I made, put a little pin in it, and then sew along the edges. If you want to see this more up close, you can go and watch my video on making short stays, the newest one. There you can get all close up and personal. Gussets all in, and I'm sewing just along the edge all the way around. On both gussets, of course. And I gave it a little zigzag stitch at the bottom just to keep the little point in place. Now we are ironing all the seam allowance. All ready and done. And I put in a little piece and at the front and at the back of the corset, so I can put in the busk and put in some eyelets. Here I'm putting in the busk. I'm just measuring out where it's going to be, how far it's going to be from the top and from the bottom, and how far it's going to go in. And on the side where the tabs go out, then make sure not to sew where the tabs go through the fabric or through the stitch line, because they have to poke out so they can come out and get attached to the other side of the busk. So that's what I'm doing here. And it was a bit tricky getting this part in because the front of the corset isn't straight. It has a little curve to it. So it was a bit of a struggle just to get this side of the busk in and out, as you can see. But I got there in the end. Just put some pins in it and wiggled it a little around, and it all worked. And here I am marking off where the other side of the busk is going to be, where the little attachments are going to be poking out. And I started off using my owl, you know, the pokey tool, to see if that was enough. But the holes didn't get big enough, so I ended up using my little hole maker instead, my little wonky hole maker, and that turned out to work. So here it is, pinned in. Just need a little stitch all the way around. Yeah, it works. Awesome. I'm trimming down one side of the seam allowance. I'm going to do this with all the seams. And then I'm going to fold over the side that I didn't cut. And then I'm going to stitch that right on the edge. And all these are going to be where the boning is going to go in. And these are the only boning channels in this corset. So it's not a heavy bone corset at all. It's just a little gentle hug that you get from this corset. Busk stitch in. All the little boning channels are pinned. Stitch right through to the edge. And I ended up not using this, but my spiral boning that I took off my Edwardian corset to put in instead, because this was easier, and because it's a mock-up, then well, it turned out great. And I'm going to put in a waist tape at the waistline, but ended up using some other waist tape, or some other gross grain tape, isn't that what it's called? Than the green one, because I wanted to use the green one for the final corset. And I'm just tucking that in underneath the seam allowance, but I ended up not doing this on the final corset because it ended up not really working that well. And I'm putting on a little eyelid tape and having a try on. It's okay, but I'm a bit worried about the busk, so I ended up putting in some flat steel on each side of the busk. Here are all the pieces for the final corset. It's going to be blue, if you were wondering. And I'm just using some denim fabric and some cotton to put on the inside. Here it is all sewn together. Busk in and all. I'm going to do the same thing. Cut the seam allowance and make a little channel. Channels are in, the same as the waist tape, and I made the gussets a little more nice looking on the inside. Now I just need to put in some eyelets. And I'm just going to be using the template from the pattern. And these are the eyelets I'm going to use. Marking off where all the eyelets are going to go. Mirroring that on the other side. Poking some holes so my eyelets can go in. Putting in some eyelets. Using my little eyelid squisher. But yeah, this is how it's going to look. Putting in some ribbon so I can close the corset. I'm going to replace this with some cotton ribbon instead. This is polyester, isn't the greatest. Had a little try on. I don't like the gap at the top and at the bottom, so I'm going to put in some hooks and eyes, and I'm going to put in some extra eyelets just to make the fit better. And yeah, corset done, on and fabulous. The chemise you see here is going to be, I'm going to show that in my next video how I made that. I made that all by hand. But yeah, corset done, fabulous, comfortable. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!